attention. 3, 2,
let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're reaching for the top, and we'll never go below.
I do my hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feel? My hair talk, check my nails. Hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cheer Chatter Podcast. I'm Q.
I'm Kay.
Hey, I'm Isha.
And welcome to another episode of Cheer Chatter Podcast. So today we have a great conversation that we think that everyone would definitely enjoy. We're hoping everyone understands and knows that we are going live on YouTube moving forward. No more Facebook, no more other social media channels, only YouTube. So if you have not already done so, go ahead and click subscribe. So that way you can get notifications whenever we are going live or whenever we post anything. So today we are going to talk about sportsmanship, and as well as the coach's role and influence on his or her team. So the first thing I want to do is let's post the definition of sportsmanship so that everyone is on the same page when it comes to the definition. So sportsmanship is fair and generous behavior or treatment of others, especially in a sports contest. So although it is pretty much cut and dry when it comes to the definition of sportsmanship, there are a few people who lack it. There are a few teams that lack it. There are a few things that just does not connect when it comes to displaying and exhibiting sportsmanship. So
it's something we have seen vividly since we started our podcast, starting last cheer season towards the end of state, where some things or some things have transpired, so to speak, and even recently. And not that we are in the midst of trying to bad talk anybody or address anything. We just would like to see things change moving forward so that it is displayed on impressionable minds such as our kids, because this follows them regardless of what we may think or what we may say. It does affect the younger generation. Myself being someone that works in the school system, I've seen it full on how it transpires into the school system and causes a whole nother state of friction amongst these girls. And it's supposed to be something that they learn from the people they admire and look up to.
So I think what a lot of people confuse sportsmanship with is a little healthy trash talking.
Yes.
You know, we can trash talk, and especially when you have rivalry teams, trash talking is going to happen. Of course, when it comes to trash talking, I think that when it comes to different sports, there are different levels that you just don't cross. But as far as cheerleading is concerned, I think, being that we are, young ladies, I think when it comes to trash talking a little trash or whatever, that, it should be healthy. It should be, nothing that makes you want to start fighting or get on social media and start talking about people's, family members and other stuff like that. Isha, what you think?
Honestly, I was gonna say pretty much what you said as far as the trash talk. I love trash talk.
Absolutely.
Trash talk is absolutely it makes it better. In my opinion, because it seemed like it make you feel like you have more to work towards, because it's like, oh, well, sis over there has something to say, so I'm finna. It's that way when we get off of the mat or whatever. Now, wherever we was trash talking, we could go back there and be like, yeah, child, you seen what we did? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Do all of that. But however, you don't have everybody that could do that, like you say, in a healthy manner. For instance, we had a situation recently where we are live, sir.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. So we're gonna have a bloopers video because
and there go one. We got one. Terrible. I
I got mine already from the first episode. And laughing at you.
Anyway, but as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. Oh, I particularly saw a situation these past couple of weeks. As everybody know, my son plays for the University of Miami, and we know UM and FSU are arch rivals.
Right.
And during the game, the quarterback of UM, freshman quarterback, his arm, he had a compound fracture, meaning that the bone actually breaks the skin. And you had people like almost applauding that he got hurt on social media. And then this week, FSU's quarterback
Yeah, Jordan
fractured
Travis.
his ankle, and it was like everybody was trying to give it back in return. Oh, see what happened to y'all when y'all laugh at a kid. Like none of that should have been said. We rivals, we could trash talk, but at the end of the day, like you don't want to see anything like that happen to the kids. And I brought that particular situation up because I also witnessed and I hate to, keep bringing up the same school, but it happened last year where the girl from Dillard went down mid-cheer, and there was another team that was like, yes.
2 other teams right there.
Yeah, it actually was 2 other teams that were kind of celebrating that she got hurt. And this young lady, thankfully, was able to compete at the state level because she was cleared to, because it was only a dislocated knee. However, it could have been worse. Even if it was not as bad as a dislocated knee, like that's nothing you clap and celebrate about. Yeah, you want your team to win, and it may turn into a benefit for your team, but you never celebrate that. Like you never want to see a kid get injured ever.
Also, like I think sometimes like we have to remember, like we are they're sometimes with these kids, we are the first people they see. A lot of the times they look up to us. So a lot of the stuff that we do, they pay attention to, and they mock it, or either they mimic it because they admire us so much. So you got to kind of want to think about the image in which you're trying to portray to these impressionable minds, because they're like sponges. They follow everything that they see and everything that you do. So you got to remember what you're pouring into these kids when you do these types of things, because it's very important. And especially with, I hate to bring this up, but even with Little League, a lot of these kids go to the same schools and cheer for different parks. And so when you cause that type of friction, you make it harder for other people to have to clean this up, because at the end of the day, the park is not at the school. And if nobody on campus understands what's going on, it leads into something else or turns into something else, which is complete chaos for the people on campus.
And then throw in some social media.
Okay, so that was something that I was getting ready to say. Like, I know for a fact, and I didn't learn this until I became an adult. Well, not even so much an adult, but I got in high school, that our coaches, when we were on the part with trash talk, with other parts, because they knew the other coaches, they was cool with each other and stuff like that. Same as now, you got a cousin that's coaching on another part. Maybe they may be a football coach or something like that. And it used to be some trash talk, but I never knew about it until I was no longer cheering on the part. Now it seems like the kids be in the conversations with the adults while the trash talk is going on. So it's like, I understand we're there to enjoy ourselves and things like that. However, kids are never our friends. I don't care what level you work on. If you are on the college level, your kid, the child is not your friend. You saw that? Because I saw you start laughing.
I'm sorry. That's what I was looking for me.
He's so long. Like he was gonna get by without nobody seeing. He might as well just walk right back to you.
Oh Jesus! I give him an A for effort.
So, which brings us to the next definition:
Yes.
leadership. So, leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. The person is the state or position of being a leader. It is the leader of an organization, country, etc. So, when we talk about leadership, we do know that leadership is something that some people have in them from
Yeah.
is their innate ability to be leaders, and then some have to be trained or they have to be educated on being leaders, being leaders based off of experience, based off of taking courses, whatever. I don't think that
You
everyone that
missed the
are
third. You missed the third.
oh, I'm sorry, what's the third one?
Some people ain't supposed to be leaders at all.
Well, I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting
I
there.
thought you was gonna skip past
That was
that.
my
I
next
apologize.
point.
Let me shut
So
up. I'm sorry.
so there are people who are in leadership of positions that should not be in leadership positions because they do not have what it takes to be leaders. So, and I can give an example when I'm currently dealing with. I'm currently dealing with a situation where my leader is a micromanager. And when I say micromanager, she micromanages. Like
Okay, so to piggyback off of that, I will say, based on number 3,
mhm,
just because you're an adult
mhm.
doesn't mean that you're a leader
Doesn't mean
or
you're a
can
coach,
lead.
or you should be a coach.
But to people that from my experience, micromanagers are usually, to me, I hate to say this, but God, please forgive me. But to me, those seem like the people who aren't happy in other aspects of their life. So their career is the only thing that they have at that moment. So that's where that's the only part of control over their life that they have. So that's where they micromanage those types of things.
Mhm.
Because everybody that I've ran into that does micromanage, that's the only control that they have in their life. So that's the one that they hold on to the most.
Or
Literally.
they're very insecure about their
That
position.
that part.
A lot of times
That's
they
where I was
feel
going
like
at with
somebody's gonna
the
come
security.
behind and take their position, maybe like
Mm-hmm.
the person that's right up under them, or the boss
Some people
don't
can
really
have it.
care for them, and they might bring somebody in, things of that nature, where they get very insecure and just try to make sure everything is perfect so that they
Yeah.
won't lose
Or take credit for everything, knowing that ain't. But everybody doesn't want your position, so to speak.
It's called
Some
right.
people are just okay with doing their job and being in their particular position.
It definitely causes a hostile work
It
environment,
does.
and it
It
definitely
does.
does
It
tail
it's
up the morale as
hostile,
well.
very, very
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
And I've
Yeah.
been in 2 of those
Yeah,
situations.
the morale definitely goes down in the workplace.
Correct.
And the morale actually, if you have a ineffective leader in sports, the morale and the just the overall feel and look of the team, it diminishes because of the leadership. And I know we've all seen in different sports, different levels as far as high school, college, and professional.
Mhm.
When you have an ineffective leader, it definitely messes up the morale. It messes up just the
Mojo.
whole, yeah, mess up the mojo. Like it just kind of just makes you feel like, you know what,
You should want to make your team feel comfortable to work for you
yeah.
and be
Becomes
okay with working for
dysfunctional.
you.
That
It becomes
definitely causes
dysfunctional.
dysfunction.
Yeah.
It definitely
I
causes
always,
dysfunction.
I always, when it comes to leadership, you should always try to be the type of leader that you would want to lead you,
Yep,
Yeah.
I
so to
agree.
speak. So therefore, if you don't want a miserable type of micromanaging boss, why would you be that type of person? Allow your team to soar because they are a reflection of you. And so if they're doing exceptionally well and excelling at their jobs, they make you look good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's bring it back to cheer because
Mm-hmm.
some
So
of
that
these micromanaging things as a leader of a cheer team,
That's different. Yeah.
no, that's what I was gonna say. I'm sitting here thinking about it like when micromanaging in a cheer
well, that would be
team be
tying it into
needed?
cheer would be your coaching staff. Are you allowing your coaching staff to voice their opinions when they see something wrong or see that something should change? Because you got some head coaches that just don't want nobody else to perfect their routine or critique their routine. They just feel like it's perfect. But your coaching staff may see something that you don't see.
Yeah.
Or
Or
would they be micromanaging?
correct.
Of course
Yeah,
it's
it's
micromanaging.
micromanaging because
No, the reason why I say would that be micromanaging, because that would more so be like, I'm gonna do it, y'all just here.
that's that's the same thing as
That's a form of
micromanaging
Y'all,
micromanaging.
because
y'all
You
think
don't
that's
trust
micromanaging?
because you're not really trusting
you're
your
not trusting your
staff.
coaching staff. What you got them for?
I would,
You
because
have to
for
coach a
me,
team by yourself.
my idea when it comes, well, what my thought, not my idea, my thought when it comes to micromanaging is every time you look, somebody sitting over your shoulders to make sure you've done the job that you're supposed to do and correcting everything that you do wrong. Like,
Or
things,
they're not allowing you to do your
Correct.
job because they're too busy looking over your shoulders
Correct.
before you can even say anything or do anything. They've already pretty much, okay, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll do it myself. I just do it.
okay, I
So,
got y'all.
It's a combination of both.
I was gonna say, or not accepting ideas
Yes.
from your team as to how you could do things better. You just say, "Oh, we just gonna do it the way we did it before," or "I'm gonna tweak it a little bit," and things of that sort.
Yeah.
That's micromanaging.
So it's important that you involve if you're going to have a coaching staff, you definitely need to involve and you need to put people on your staff
That you trust.
that have some form of experience in something. And you would want to pick a coaching staff that complements you. So if your strength is in one area, but your strength you are not as strong in another area, then you need to find coaches that say, you know what, since my strength is stunting, this person is going to be the cheer person. This person is going to be my formation person. I need other eyes so that way, where I'm lacking, they're picking up my slack.
So I'll bring it back to when we were all coaching together. Q was great as far as the leadership was concerned, making sure everything was in order, things of that sort. You and Shira were great on creativity. Me, discipline and words.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew their roles on the particular coaching staff, so to speak. But we all had a hand in stunting because we were all great at it. But a lot of us, we all respected each other enough to see when something else could be changed, tweaked, or done better to make it even better.
Yeah.
And we trusted each other enough to do so. And I think that that's the best part of a coaching staff in general. That's even like I bring it to football. When you have different coaches for different positions, the head coach can't do it all, but he delegates to make sure. He only steps in if that person isn't able to do what they're supposed to do, but you hire people to do those particular things.
It's like a specialist, you know.
Correct.
You want to hire someone that specializes in that particular role or position. So that way, one, they make you look good, and two, they make your team look better. So, when it comes to leadership, there's a whole lot more that, a coach should have, that's going to make them an effective coach, because that's the key thing. You want to be effective.
Like when I was doing hiring at a school, the school that I taught at, down in Miami, I was the lead teacher. But of course, it was a private school, so my lead teacher role was a bit higher. I was like third in command of the entire school. So when we went through the hiring process, a lot of times it was my decision.
Correct.
So for me, I always wanted to hire somebody that could replace me.
Correct. And
that's always what I thought. Hire somebody that could replace you, so now you can really do a higher role.
I think that was my thought.
We all want to grow, so you don't want to bring in somebody that's worse.
That's gonna make more work for you than taking it off of your plate.
Right. And a lot of people don't have the confidence or security in themselves to be able to do that.
I think I had that mindset as well. This oh God, this is my first year hiring. Let me tell you something. I spent the entire summer looking for the person
You should have asked me to help you.
Girl, listen, when I tell you stress was an understatement, I think I interviewed 15 people. And I think some people just woke up and said one day, I just want to be a counselor. I don't know why, but they did. But I thought, like what you said, I wanted somebody that could come in and mesh well. But if I'm not here, I could rest at home or doing whatever it is I'm doing and know that my team is going to be okay without me being here.
Mm-hmm.
Can learn well, and that's it. When I tell you I prayed on it, prayed on it, because baby,
So did you make a good selection?
I did. I got to
Yeah.
admit, I did. I prayed about it, and God gave me exactly what I wanted. And when I'm not there, I am secure enough to know that my team is good. Now when I get back, they stressed out and looking crazy because they don't work them to the bone. But they have a newfound appreciation for the stuff that I take off of their plate to allow them to learn the role as far as them learning, because neither one of them have been counselors before. Mm-hmm. So they're now learning. They're crossing over from the social worker realm to now being counselors. So it's a little easy, but the logistic part of it is not that easy for them. So I'll be like, okay, well, if y'all handle the mental health stuff of that nature, the logistics part I'll take and go from there. And so that's the best way we work team. They see the kids, I see kids as well, but the logistics part of it, I show them how to do it, but I don't put it fully on them until they completely learn.
Yeah.
So that's the type of leader that I want to be. My team defend me when I ain't there. People be trying.
I mean, that's the whole thing. You definitely want to put people in place that in your absence, or if you are busy doing something else, that everything is still going to go smooth and everything is still going to go according to the plan. And if there is a need to make any type of decisions, that the people that you have in place are strong enough to be able to make those decisions, and it does not cause chaos or no foolishness or no craziness when you return back. So
but we've seen some successful teams with great coaching staffs in the past years that we've been watching cheer. You could look at their coaching staff and tell that their teams really respect everybody as a whole, and who all is being placed in front of them, because kids will let you know if they vibe with somebody, if they don't. Mm-hmm. But I would love to know some coaches' experiences who haven't had the best coaching staff, and what was their role or what was their outcome as far as what did they have to do? Did they have to go back to the drawing board? Did they have to rehire, revamp, or go from there? Like, what is it like to coach a team with coaches that have helped you become successful versus ones that have not been worth a damn? Well, I'd love to know.
That blows into the next definition. Influence.
Okay.
All right. The capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. And as a verb is have an influence on. So
influence is something else. Honey.
And I think we all.
Hey, Heather.
Hi, Heather. And I think we all have been influenced, by someone or something, in our lifetime.
Oh, in the cheer world.
In our cheer world. So I can go first, and I can speak on my influence.
Okay.
My influence was my godmother. So I was kind of late with the whole cheer thing. I didn't start cheering until 6th grade. And that's
late.
Yeah, for me that was late. Because everybody else that cheered, that was on the team my 6th grade year, they cheered Little League. They cheered, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I didn't know nothing about a high V. I didn't know nothing about a toe touch. I didn't know anything. And only reason why she picked me is because I was out one morning before school started, and I was jumping. I was just looking at what everybody else was doing, and I started jumping. And she was like, "Oh, you should be a cheerleader." And it was like, well, what is that? Like, what am I supposed to do? And so, I got with some people and they showed me, whatever, because I definitely didn't know what a high V was. The high V was hot mess, honey.
Ooh,
Them
you
wrists
had
was-
broken ribs.
No, them wrists was turned all the way in, baby.
Oh Jesus!
You see them?
No
You see
ma'am,
right here?
no ma'am, no ham, no turkey.
Just like
no.
this here. And
It wasn't a high V. It
And
was
you
a
know
high
she
almost
already
T.
listen, and she already long.
So
How
So
was
therefore,
that T?
I wasn't long then. I wasn't long. I hit a growth spurt my 7th grade year. So my 6th grade year, I was pretty much average with everybody.
okay.
I'm maybe a little bit, like it was a little bit taller than everybody else, but 7th grade is when I hit my growth spurt. But as far as the jumps and everything, because my sport was track. That's what I did. I ran and jumped hurdles.
Nowhere.
So, my influence was her. She taught me, and then as I went to high school, of course,
It's just
Miss Jackson and Miss Singletary.
ooh.
I made JV my freshman and sophomore year, made varsity my junior and senior year. I was a captain on JV and varsity. I was Miss Varsity cheerleader. So for me, just going through those 3 people, my godmom, Miss Arnita Williams, the 2 Marys, Mary Jackson and Mary Singletary, they were my influences. Because they, I was awkward.
Funny.
I'm 5'10". I'm 5'9", 5'10", and I'm a cheerleader. Like,
Ain't nothing wrong with me.
so yeah, that was my influence.
Ooh, all right. So I started a little bit earlier. I started in the 4th grade. So my list of influences as far as the cheer world is it's like okay. So for 4th and 5th grade, it would have to be my second mom, Miss Striggles Webb. She made me cheer at Martin Luther King. So that's where I started, and then I crossed over to Parkway in middle school with Miss Bennett Barnes, and so I cheered for her, and then ended up going to finally giving Little League a try. And so I went to Lauderhill, and I gotta thank Cosent. And then I got to high school with the 2 Marys. And so
Remember, people used to call them the single Marys.
I still take Singletary to this day. Hey, single Mary. And so, which I will say I have relationships with all of them still to this day in my adult life. And so, like, now that I get the conversations about it, you make me feel old and all that good stuff, and you could address those types of things. But all of those ladies played a major role in my cheer career, and so I thank those ladies exceptionally for being there, because I still, check on them on a regular, still speak to them on a regular, and some of them have really helped me in the school board realm as well, as far as building those relationships. It's all about networking. So even though I met them in the cheer world, they still have a great influence on me in my adult life, so to speak. So that's my spiel as far as my cheer influences. And I just made up that word.
All right, cheer influences.
Let's go. Sis. For me, I started cheering around the same time as you, Kamisha. I started cheering in elementary school. And I cheered, but I first started cheering on the park. I cheered on the park before anything. And my first cheer coach was like a person that I just really don't like didn't really like then, but don't like now. And it was my brother's wife at the time. It was my opportunity to cheer. Like, so my mom, okay, my dad, when he coached on the park, he coached at Western. My brother played football for Western. I ran track for Fort Lauderdale Track Club, so the entire Fort Lauderdale Track Club family was at Western. So my daddy wanted me to cheer for Western, even though at the time Western's cheer program was actually pretty good.
WLT, ain't that what they had across their chest?
Child, they did not say WLT. Them people used to say double LT. But my mom didn't want me there. Like, it was like, no. So she wanted me to go with her, with my sister's god sister. She was coaching at the Barracudas.
Okay.
If you don't know what the
How about
Barracudas
them?
is, it's the Holiday Park.
Yeah, I remember
I
Barracuda.
remember
That's what
Barracuda.
I
Um,
remember hearing
I
about
don't
them.
even remember their name, but it's the team that's at Holiday Park. They've always been at Holiday Park. But
It
back
was
then,
the Holiday Park
Barracudas,
Barracuda.
don't remember, didn't care, because I ain't want to cheer for them because I knew they sucked. I didn't want to go there.
I can't.
So my mom and my daddy was having this battle on where I cheered. So
Yeah.
I went basically until fifth grade before I started cheering because my mama didn't want me to cheer for for Western, and my daddy didn't want me to cheer for Barracudas, and I didn't want to cheer for them either. So I just went without cheering. I stuck to my dance, my track. I had did a little gymnastics. I had did all of that, but my brother's wife at the time, um she started cheering that late. I mean, she started coaching that late.
Mhm.
And when she started coaching that late, that was like my aha moment. Can I go
Okay.
cheer for her?
Mhm.
And Lates was a good program at that
Mhm.
time as well. So they allowed me to cheer for her that one year. It was my worst year of cheer ever.
Mm.
Like if I put all my bad years of cheer together and put it into, it was horrible. Like it was real bad. It bad, baby. We was the bad news bears.
Not the bad
Hmm.
news bears.
Bad news.
But then the next year, I ended up cheering for
We're gonna
Tanya.
come. We're gonna pencil. We're gonna put a pin on that because we're gonna come back to the bad news bears. But continue.
So the next year, well, actually the next 2 years, I cheered on 120 with Tanya Brinson and Coach Penny.
Oh, rest
And
in peace.
yeah, rest RIP Coach Penny, even though Coach Penny is actually my cousin as well. But
Mhm.
at the time we had no idea. But I cheered for them. Now, when it comes to life and stuff like that, I won't necessarily say being cheer coaches that I had the influence on life, but I did get the influence in creativity.
Mm.
That's where I learned how to create routines and critique routines and do spacing and transitioning and cleaning and stuff like that, because literally me and a couple other girls, obviously Destiny, who's Miss Penny's daughter, we would actually go to somebody's house and make up our competition routine.
I was glad.
It-
I was glad. Like back then, we had those creative moments. They allow us to tap into those creative moments, um, which helped us all a lot when we became coaches because we already had that experience.
Mhm. So the two of them would get together with a couple of cheerleaders and we was creating, and like if we had an idea and we did it and they liked it, it was going in there. So that's
Hmm.
where my creativity came in. Then I moved to Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky was like my other mama. Like,
Miss Vicky is a
Ghost.
she is the goat, like one of the goats of the cheer
Hello.
world in Broward County.
Hello.
yes.
She, like I've never cheered the league, but I know Miss Vicky. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something.
So
Sis got the theme gift gap.
Miss Vicky at the time was actually also coaching at St. Thomas.
mhm.
And she would take her girls
She don't want to go back.
to competition at that time, and they was kicking ass.
She don't want to go back.
So no, she don't even live in South. Well, she stay in somewhat of South Florida. She's moved a little further north.
Mhm.
Um, which I was kind of sad about hearing that she was moving, because I knew if I wanted to see her, if I couldn't call her, if I wanted to see her, I'd go right to Publix on 441 a commercial. She was,
Terrible. Not you stalking on the job.
if I needed to talk to her and she answered my phone call, I knew where I could find her.
Go right on up.
Pulling up at the people.
Right on, hey Miss Vicky. But no, with her, that's where I got like my synergy,
Mm.
the word we like to use, because what she did was she would use her already paid for routines and give them to us.
Mm.
And her high school girls would come teach us. Actually, one of her high school girls was our junior coach,
Mm-hmm.
and her personality was that real bubbly,
Mhm.
over the top cheer personality.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to like just feed into that. We was like sponges to that. We just absorbed it. And the crazy part is Miss Vicky only coached me 1 year.
Mm.
And but with that and to see those girls teach us those routines,
That's powerful.
it got us to that level where we just was like killing it. And she invited her girls to our practice after we had learned our competition routine.
Mhm.
And the girls was like, dang, y'all did it better than us. Period. But obviously we all cheered for the Marys. I had
Mhm.
the opportunity. Well, I cheered for Shaquista's godmother as well, Arnita Williams, in middle school and in high school.
Mm.
And for she was a good influence in my life. We don't talk now, not for any particular reason, but I remember when I was cheering for her in high school as a captain, I was kind of getting a lot of kickback from the team. And it's some things that she told me while I was being a leader to help me be a leader. Because I was ready to be like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I'm done with this. I don't get paid for this. I'm in high school. This ain't it. And she told me, she was like, listen, you don't never quit nothing. She said, if I had a problem with you being a captain, you would no longer be a captain.
Mm.
She was like, they have a problem with you being a captain because you're hard on them. They want you to be your friend. They want you to be their friend. But when we're in
Mhm.
cheer practice, you're leading the team. And that's their
Right.
issue. And that conversation kind of stuck with me through life.
Mhm.
Because even though I'm a jokester, y'all see me in my joking mode all the time. I'm a very straightforward, direct person that a lot of people don't like because I don't really have a gray area. And by that, I mean, I'm either happy or I won't even say that. I won't say I'm happy or I'm not happy. Um, Whatever I think it is, I'm going to say it. It's not with the intent of hurting nobody's feelings. It's not with an attitude, but I'm very direct with my words. And a lot of people don't understand and appreciate that. And what I took from that was like, don't change you. Don't be somebody different because
Right.
people don't like what you're doing in that moment. It ain't because you're being a bad person. It's because they don't like the position that you're in to be the
Mhm.
person that you are. So I always stuck with that. And it's helped me in being a leader as an adult because I can go into any room or meeting or conversation and say exactly what I feel. And not saying that I don't care how people feel, but as long as I know I did not intentionally hurt anyone or that was not my intent, I'm okay with apologizing. But I also have to say what needs to be said, and I'm comfortable.
Absolutely.
So that was one of the things that I learned in high school. And then I also had another coach that was much younger and closer to age, which was Isaiah, another RIP. That was like
Loved
cheer twin.
her.
That was my cheer twin. Like
Listen.
when I'm talking about finishing sentences, like if we're creating something, I could
Like,
finish
that's
what
create now
he's
that's a creative
creating.
somebody.
Yes, like I could finish what he's doing. He could finish what I'm doing. We could call each other the phone. Hey, I thought about this. Dang, I thought about that too. That was my cheer twin.
Mm.
He
Love
pushed me
him.
to another level when it came to cheer, but in life, he also taught me to be authentically you, like be who
That
you
was
are.
one of the
That's
things
one
I
thing about
respected.
Isaiah.
I
I met him
respected him.
in middle school, and he's always
Been
been
himself. I always
himself,
loved it.
and everybody loved him. Gay, straight, bi, all the letter people,
Whatever.
non-letter people, everybody loved Isaiah, and they were not. He didn't make you feel insecure about dealing with him. That's why
No. But
no
he also made you feel powerful as a cheerleader. Like it was the point of whenever you felt as if you couldn't do it. He always pushed you and helped you to make sure you could.
And
Never
remember, he
underestimate.
cheered and was in the band. He did
Correct.
both. So it was just so many people were around him and loved him. And again, like he, no matter where he was, what he was
That's
doing,
the real definition of Trinity.
him. Yes, that was
Mhm.
Trinity. He was the person that pushed me to learn how to tumble. He was the person that pushed me to learn how to tumble, to get over my fear and learn how to tumble. So those were my, I mean, of course, like I said, we had Mary Jackson, the I don't want to say Jackson 5, but the two Marys, the Mary 2, but
Mary
I
12.
don't have that close knit relationship with them like y'all do. Of course, when I see them, it's always love, but I
Yeah.
just don't have that really closeness with them. And I was both of their captains, so they love me, I love them, but I don't have the outside of cheer like super relationship with them.
Yeah,
But
understandable.
those are my cheer influences.
Both of them.
Huh?
I say, but those were my cheer influences.
Yes.
Oh, this cheertionary. It's getting longer and longer by the minute.
Hey, it need to be because we need to have a book so we can sell it.
Hello, cheertionary. There
Okay,
it
the
is.
chair. Okay. So we put up all the definitions there for the main definition, which is the coach's influence on his or her team. So the definition of a coach is a person who teaches and trains an athlete or performer. It's also a person who teaches and trains the members of a sports team and makes decisions about how the team plays during games, or in this instance, they perform on the mat. So I think what we've been seeing a lot lately is that that negative influence,
Correct.
in terms of, and I think I mentioned it earlier when I said social media has played a huge part
Mm-hmm.
on, when it comes to the trash talking and the negative side of cheerleading. We've all witnessed it. We've all, endured it. We've all seen it happen. And some of the times it's the coaches that kind of sets that tone, and they put it out there, and it's for everyone to see.
It's like they go ahead, they the ones they stack the wood, the little wood pieces, and they start rubbing the wood pieces together and wonder why it's a damn forest fire.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's I'm all for bragging rights. I'm all for celebration. I'm all for cheering your team on. But you have to remember that kids are a little different. And so they don't know how to leave it where it's at.
Mhm.
And so that becomes a problem because they're still learning how to control their emotions. They're still learning how to deal with certain situations. So although as an adult you cannot react to certain things in certain ways, kids have yet to learn that concept.
And on top of that, a lot of, like you all mentioned earlier, a lot of these coaches are kind of linked together outside of the park.
Correct.
So it's kind of like, when you're exhibiting this behavior, are you exhibiting the good part of cheerleading in front of them, the sportsmanship of cheerleading?
Or are you explaining it to the girl?
Explaining it to them as far as explaining, saying like, "Hey, we talking, this little trash talk, but everything is all good. We're all love." And even as coaches, as rival coaches, you can learn from each other.
Correct.
There's been times where you've had coaches come and say, "Hey, like, everything going a good direction. I would probably suggest that you all do X, Y, and Z next time. That will probably bring a little bit more points to your routine or something." But at the end of the day, it should be more of collaborating and inspiring each other versus, the negative side of it.
Correct. So one of the coaches relationships that I have loved to see collectively, like as far as state is concerned, is Miramar, West Broward, Western, and Dillard. For the past few years, they have collectively supported each other outside, even though some of them compete in the same category. They still have enough respect for one another to make it a friendly rival, and still are very supportive of one another, regardless of what category or if they're going against each other or not. And I love that about some of the South Florida teams, high school as well, because no shade to any other region, but when we go somewhere in South Florida versus everybody,
Pretty much.
no shade. But I always love that aspect because, especially in Broward County, whether it's football, basketball, or any other sport, cheerleading, it's always a Broward sweep, and we here for it. But I will say that is the type of respect that I love to see, because although they are friendly rivals, the girls get to see them talk trash respectfully and see the good and bad part of it, so to speak.
Like it's kind of like, and me and Shaquesta, I mean, you've seen it, but me and Shaquesta could attest to this like wholeheartedly. Shaquesta went to Bethune-Cookman. I went to FAMU.
Correct.
And we just played this past Saturday in the classic. The classic happens every year. We've been rivals forever. When I say we trash talk all 365 days to the next time we play, it's gonna happen. We gonna talk about the accreditation at the school building, the color scheme, the mascot, the cheerleaders, the football team, the
Oh,
facility, everything. We're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about the average GPA, the graduation rate,
wait,
the
pause. Wait,
money, the
what?
people who donate money, the people who speak at your graduation,
I'm
the
not doing
people
this.
that
You talking
speak
about
at
all
your
that.
convocation. We don't care. We talking about
Clearly,
it.
because you went accreditation, grades.
Am I lying, Shaquasta?
Not a bit.
I know you ain't lying. That's the sad part.
And we gonna dig deep into our rivalry. Like I posted on Twitter. It was
I
a
just want y'all to know
bobcat,
y'all done incorporated your nephew into this rivalry, because he done
and that's
called
fine.
everybody in Cookman and trash talk unlike no other.
And that's fine, as he should. But like I Googled a cat, a dead cat in the middle of the
No,
road to
Lord.
start my trash talk last week on Twitter, and people that know me from being a UM mom, they're
From
Familiar with.
not knowledgeable
Yeah.
of the rivalry. They was like, "Oh, it's a dead Florida bobcat." And I had to explain to them, listen, this is my graduating school rivalry week. So to stay out of this. Because what will happen is, and a lot of HBCUs have witnessed this as well. If you try to jump in on our argument, we gonna turn and gang up on you.
Yep. You will get
all
jumped.
day.
And that's how we roll. And that's how we roll in South Florida.
Yeah, that's
It'll
like
be Dade versus Broward all day. But when we go
even
to
with us and
Dade and
Eve.
Broward is South Florida versus everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? It is. I like the rivalry.
Correct.
Also make you feel like it's family, because even when Cookman was kind of going through their thing with their coach and stuff like that, it was more FAMU people dead than shoot some Cookman people that was going hard about their program.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see everybody do good.
Correct.
Yeah, you want to win, but you should always want to see everyone do well.
And
Everybody
win.
win.
You want the competition. You really
Yeah.
want a
Correct.
good. You want a hard fought game. You want competition. You want everyone to be on at that top level, so that way it's like that. Like you say, those bragging rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these last few years, baby, it's been.
Oh, but I will say this. I attended the Florida Classic game, and this is actually a really good game, and it was one of the best games I've seen in a while. because
Mhm.
both teams gave it they all and they left it all on the field.
I've
But they
heard that. They
literally
said although the score said 24-7,
correct.
the game did not
It
reflect
was
the score
not.
at
It,
all.
it did
Hello.
not. I watched the game and
When
it
I
was
tell
a
you
good
it was
game.
both teams left it all on the field and did their absolute best, and it was a really, really good game. Really, really good.
Well, they said it was the highest attendance since 2011, so
I
that's
could,
a really
I
good
could
thing to hear.
imagine.
Yeah.
But I thought that was weird, and I don't want to harp on the whole classic subject, but I thought that was weird because the whole top level on cooking side was empty.
It was on. It was the whole top level on FAMU side was
It's
somewhat
empty
empty
as
too,
well.
but they opened. Remember, like times before, the sides were not open. Remember, they only allowed you to sit on that particular school side, and then the bands were on the end zone part of
Like
it.
as soon as you go into the end zone, that's where the band sat.
Correct.
And
So
then-
now they opened the end zone this time for everybody to sit. So that's
so they
probably
probably
where the
prevented
difference
from
came.
sitting up there so that
Correct.
everyone can have a better seat at the game. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it.
I understand.
Yeah.
I was just kind of thrown off by that number. Anyway, back
But
to the whole coaching thing and your role as a coach. I think that definition was very not vague, but I think it missed some points. Yes, you're supposed to lead your sports team and train your sports team and try to, win whatever it is that you are doing. But I think what's misleading about it is because there is no part in influence, there is no part in mentorship, there is no part in maturing and advancing and developing not just the
Mhm.
athlete, but also the person. I think
Yeah.
coaches are
correct.
there for that as well. And if you're
It's a
not,
foundational. It's a foundational definition. So like all
no,
definitions,
I
you
understand that.
definitely can add other things to it because that's the whole purpose of it. That's the foundation. And everything that you just said, Isha, is super important in creating and being an effective leader.
Correct.
You've got to be able to mentor. What they say, rally the troops. You got to be able to rally the troops in times of disarray and craziness. You got to be able to rally your team to say, hey, we've had some bad, routines. We got to make this happen. Whatever we need to do to get everybody on the same page mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, so that way we can go ahead and go on that mat and produce the best routine out there to have the best outcome. You got to be able to do it. You just can't be, as a coach, you can't say, okay, you here, you there, whatever, and then you're causing confusion because no one knows what they're supposed to be doing if you can't articulate what it is that you're trying to get done. And I would say even with the two Marys, Secretary, we never seen her perform any of the stuff, but she was able to verbally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I say verbally describe what it is that she wants, and everyone got it.
But that kind of goes
I agree with that.
what we were talking about a while back when we were saying that JV was the foundation that led up to varsity. So Miss Jackson gave us those fundamentals and that foundation to be able to take direction from Miss Singletary to know exactly what she's looking for, what exactly she wants, and how to do it without her showing it to us. At that point, that's how it should be.
But your
But
memory.
that goes into being an effective leader and
Correct.
bringing people under you to
Mhm.
do the things that you either don't want to do or can't do.
Yeah.
Correct. And Miss Jackson surely did pour into, so whoever cheered under Miss Jackson literally moved right into Miss Singletary, and they had the same different types of leadership skills, but they had the same ideals as far as how to run their cheer team. Jackson demonstrated, Singletary just talked and basically directed you and verbally said how she wanted you to do it, but you already knew how to do it because Miss Jackson had done already taught you how to do it.
But the crazy part is all the time, except for maybe over the summer, for a couple of weeks over the summer, it was always just Jackson and Singletary. It
Mhm.
wasn't nobody that cheered before came back or nothing like that.
Correct.
Miss Michelle will come in every now and then, but Miss Jackson was such a perfectionist.
Yes, she
Ooh.
was.
She was a perfectionist. When you first of all, your first stunt that you was learning how to put up was not a perk. Your
Nope.
first stunt you was learning how to put up was a good old dot stand.
Yep. She did not. Yes.
And you
I
was
forgot
gonna put
about
it in your
that.
pocket. You gotta
Yes,
put your foot
honey.
in the pocket.
And
And
she
your
would demonstrate
hands
that.
won't
That,
Honey,
that now she had one of the baddest lunches I have ever seen in my life.
Listen, but if
Oh,
you
her
ain't had
lunches.
that foot in your pocket, she showed chopped you with that foot to show you where it was
Yep.
supposed to go.
Yep,
Mhm.
she had a bad lunch, honey. That lady there had
Yes,
a
ma'am.
bad
She
lunch.
had a lunch on her, okay?
Wake up and breathe.
Don't do it.
Wake up and breathe.
But
But she
because
was
she was
PE
such a
teacher, so that's
perfectionist, because she was such a perfectionist, she really didn't have to teach us anything. The
no.
girls that stayed that were 10th graders taught us what we needed to do
Exhibit
as
it to
ninth
me.
graders. And then when we became 10th graders, we
Mhm.
taught the ninth graders. And
Correct.
if we were teaching incorrectly,
Oh,
she was telling you to get out the way and telling somebody else to come teach it.
Yeah.
that is
And
so
I
true.
think that's why we're such a sticklers when we go to the games and they doing the cheers wrong,
Big
because
time.
we got
It's nowhere in the world.
Got chewed out at games. Yeah, she
first of
wasn't waiting till
all,
after.
So
first
let
of
me.
all, if you was calling the wrong cheer, it was gonna be let's hear it.
Yeah.
And then she was gonna call the cheer she wants you to call.
Oh
And
yeah,
don't let her
she was
mess
real
around
good for that.
and don't let her mess around and call a cheer that she
You
wants
don't.
you to
Before
call,
you
and
call
you
it.
ignore it and you call something else. She gonna tell you let's hear it again, and she gonna call what she want to call again.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So my
Oh, I
funny.
hated control. Go ahead.
So I made JV when when school year started. So in August of '94 is when I made the JV team. So we literally had maybe less than 2 weeks before the
first-
season, before the first game. So of course we're going over like little chants. Matter of fact, no, let me back up. We made the team the week before the first game. So do you know when we learned our some of the chants at the game?
And then if you didn't do it right, oh okay.
So we're
Do
like
it
looking
again.
at her, we looking at Mary Jackson like, but we don't know the chants, and she like, you'll figure it out. And she put us out there, and she said, well, if you don't know it, you can't catch on to it. What you supposed to do? Stay and set.
That she was so nice back then because she made us do it again to make sure you learned it.
No. We went through. They went through all the chants
Mm-mm.
3-4 times.
No.
And for her, it was either you need to catch on or stay and set.
No.
And if you did not catch on after a while, you just couldn't come back.
Oh no. We didn't get the after while part.
No, after a while was that game.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't no
Baby,
second
if you
game,
did,
third game. No,
they called the cheer. You ain't know it. You called it right back again,
no, she didn't do that.
and then you had to get it right then. And if not, baby, come on and sit down.
Yeah, she was like
Oh,
after a
see,
while, she was
Jason will
saying,
make you come sit down next to her.
Come on and sit
Yeah.
down. Come
But
on.
you
after a
know
while,
what
we
was my
sitting next to her.
funniest memory? I don't remember what chant it was, but it was basketball season. And we went out there. I ain't gonna say we, but I was on the team, so I'm gonna say we. But when I say we messed that damn chant up because we was not focused on getting on that court, and we almost missed them people time out. We
Ooh,
got
full time
we,
out. Baby, you better take advantage.
we had to come sit back down. And guess what? The next time I go and do the same thing again.
Hello.
Miss
And
Jackson
we
and Miss
was
Sinclair did
like,
that one time.
but
And we had at least
that
5
ain't happening no more.
cheers.
But it ain't happening no more.
Uh-uh.
No.
We had at least practice 5 to 6 cheers because she was gonna take advantage of them damn full times out.
Mhm.
Because baby, when I tell you every time they called the full time out, you had to be on the court.
And a 30-second time out, you better stand up and do a chant
do
as
a
well.
chant.
Yeah. So let's tie all of this together.
Yes.
So with being a coach and being a influential coach, your role is to lead your team.
Mm-hmm.
Your role is to be an influence over your girls and your young men. Your role is to motivate, develop. And you're not only developing cheerleaders, but you're developing their character, personalities to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's the word I'm looking for? Their responsibility. You're responsible for helping mold these young people, not just as cheerleaders, but also as young adults.
Mm-hmm.
That is your job, and just cheerleaders. In the overall, your role is to you want to develop and you want to mold these people. Um, we did West Broward. Shout out to West Broward. We did provided media for them, and I don't know if you all see it saw it on Instagram, but shout out to West Broward's JV team, West Broward's comp team, St. Thomas, and Michael LaSalle. Who am I missing?
Monarch,
Taravella, and JP Taravella. Shout out to Taravella. This is their first time competing in over 10 years. And although they still have a ways, yes, they have. We have not.
They have not.
It's been that long.
Have not hit the mat in
10 years.
Wow.
That's the same thing we said.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, because the last time I remember, y'all remember Miss Daniels? Well, she's not Daniels no more, but Shavonna Daniels, her little sister was cheering on that team. Now her sister done graduated from college and everything, but I remember her little sister was cheering on that team. And there was like maybe a year or two after that they still were competing. But I didn't think it was 10 years.
It's been 10 years. So shout out to JP.
Y'all getting old.
Y'all.
I said what I said.
Ma'am, you older than me.
That don't mean I'm getting old.
I don't get old. I age like fine wine. Okay. What up? I don't know who's Sigma Man.
I think that is Ruben.
Is that Ruben?
That is Ruben.
Hey, Ruben.
Yes. But shout out to JP Taravella.
They look really.
Although they definitely have a ways to go. The young ladies that we did speak to,
they look good. They look very good for them to be out of the loop for 10 years.
And the young ladies that we did speak with when we interviewed them, oh my God! When I say their synergy, their motivation, just their presence was so amazing. Those young ladies, and they're all seniors, and then they shared with us there's like 13 seniors on the team this year. Their goal is to leave the program in better hands.
Correct.
So their thing is we know that we have to leave our mark this year.
Correct.
So that the following years we can keep it going. And it inspired me into a point where I was like, wow, these young ladies really they have a vision and they're implementing the vision.
You can tell like their coach had a great hand in building their team, because they definitely want to. Although I love the fact that they said we may not win, but we still want to leave a mark.
Yep.
Absolutely love that attitude, because you can't, like the young lady said, you can't win them all, but you can still leave a stamp on everybody's in everybody's mind to remember Taravella.
Yes.
And so I did love that aspect about it. They literally were an amazing group of young ladies.
Yes. So shout out JP Taravella's competition team. I wish I would have gotten their names, because I'm going to get their names, so I'm going to give them an individual shout out the next time. But they were amazing. Again, shout out to you all. Shout out to all the teams that performed at the West Broward competition this past Monday. We will be at West Broward. No, excuse me. We'll be at Western. I'm sorry. We'll be at Western High School next week, Wednesday, for their competition. We have a few teams that we're definitely looking forward to seeing that day. I think one of them is Miramar.
Yeah.
Dillard. Nova.
I'm already listening to the comp season already got me locked in with these cheers. I got cheers all in my brain because I'm about to bet on the Bobcats.
So we are really excited about, going to and providing media for those competitions. So if you want us to provide media for your competition, hit us up, cheerchatter23@gmail.com.
Can some of y'all have competitions while I'm in town? If y'all need to know, I give you my schedule.
Wait, what?
I tried. Shit.
No, ma'am, I can't. I will say, I am excited about this cheer season. Reason being, I'm really excited to see, I can't even lie, I'm really excited to see these categories. Because I hate the fact that we find out so late in the game, but it also gives us the opportunity to watch the transition between now and then. Because remember, some teams start off with really big teams in the beginning, and then by the time state roll around, they got a whole different number of people. But I'm excited to see what this season brings, especially with the fact that now some new teams, even more new teams are coming, or schools are coming back into the mix of competition. So that's exciting to see.
So, do we have any closing remarks that we want to leave?
I will say,
Yes,
I will say this.
Happy Turkey Day. Come.
When it comes to molding the minds of kids, I'm not a pro at it, but we really have to teach kids how to do things in a healthy capacity. And when I say that, I mean, if we're going to trash talk, that's cool. But at the same time, we have to teach our kids how to receive it as well as give it.
Yeah.
So therefore, I always tell my students that you cannot think that other people are going to have the same decorum as you. So therefore, they might go for the jugular when it comes to trash talk. So when you give it, you have to be able to receive it. So therefore, if you're giving it,
when you go low, they go to hell now.
Hello. And therefore, at that point, once it comes back, you cannot play victim, or you cannot claim bullying.
Hey, Amber.
But I have to say that because the bullying thing for me it's becoming a bit much, because the word is being misused.
I've always said I hate the word bully.
I hate it with a passion.
Like
and
to
so
use it as a scapegoat.
I'm literally just saying this in general because I think it's something that a lot of teenagers battle with, because they feel as though they can say whatever it is that they want to say to people, and it's not going to be flipped back in return.
And so it's definitely not something that's only happening this year. Remember, we've heard about stuff like this a couple of years back with high school teams, where coaches were saying that, oh, your girls and your parents bullying my girls and all of this stuff. And when you go back and look at all the transactions, you'd be like,
no one is stopping
bullying.
Nobody is innocent.
Everyone's hands is dirty when you're trash talking. I think it's more so on, teaching. You got to
know how to trash talk.
You have to know when to trash talk, and you also need to know those boundaries. Correct. There are definitely some boundaries when it comes to trash talking. You have to know, and you have to respect those boundaries. And you also have to understand that this is not your life. You get what I'm saying? This is so much more things bigger than life, because we've seen and we've heard and we've read about trash talking and how it has taken to a level where people are getting physically and killed, injured, hurt, correct, to the point where it's like,
is it really that serious?
How did it get to this point? You know what I'm saying?
But it has gotten to that point because we have to remember, as adults, we know what we can and cannot do and where to draw the line.
We're supposed to know.
But what I mean is that
period.
Kids have yet to learn boundaries.
Yeah.
Kids have yet to learn boundaries. They don't know how to deal with their emotions, and a lot of them feel as if violence or other means is the way of dealing with it.
Well, is that's where all the whole coaching thing comes ties
Correct.
into. Because
So
as the coach, when you see it developing to the point where it's getting out of hand, you're supposed to step in and say, hey, this is not what we're here to do. And as our one of our listeners say, take the trash talk to the mat.
leave it all on the mat.
That's what you do. You say, okay, you know what? You can say whatever you want to say, but guess what? I see you on that blue mat. Once we get on that blue mat, whatever, you won't be able to deny what we're able to do.
Period.
So, Isha Mae, you got something to say? Closing remarks?
I just feel like we all as adults, who are involved with kids' lives in whatever capacity that you are, need to be mentors in general, not
Correct.
just with the trash talk, but just mentors in general, because the direction that our youth are going in based off what I see on social media and in person is not a good look. Um,
Mhm.
and like I said, I've had some coaches that have influenced me out. Well, we've all said we had coaches influenced us on life, not just on cheer, on how to be a young lady, on how to be a grown lady, on how to be a person, on how to be a leader, on how to take leadership. Um,
Correct.
we've all got that from someone older than us, not because we just came and did trial and error. Yes, life is about a lot of trial and error, but we had a great example put in front of us with our coaches. So you coaches out there, or you know community leaders out there, make sure you're leaving a positive seed in these kids,
Absolutely.
um because they need help. They
They
really
do.
need help. The music industry, the TV industry, the social media is really destroying our kids and their thoughts of life
Absolutely.
in general, and what's good and what's not. And it's doing that to a lot of adults as well. But those of us that still have all of our marbles in our brain, our elevator goes all the way to the top floor. Let's kind of jump in and kind of
Mhm.
redirect these kids onto the right path. And it's never too late. You can get a senior that you've never dealt with before and change their life. Trust me,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because all
I
it takes is one. All
that's
it
it.
takes is that one.
That's
That's
it.
it. And if you feel as though that you trying to change or influence the masses, it's not going to work that way, because
Mm-mm.
you're going to have a few stragglers that's going to go wherever way they want to go. So
Mhm.
your role as an effective leader is to guide who is going to receive what it is that you're trying to give them.
Absolutely.
And if you're
If
able
you
to
reach one, you
one,
did your job.
you did your job.
Absolutely.
So, ladies, this was a very positive and
Absolutely.
energetic
I
conversation.
do want to give a shout out to our faithfuls
Yes.
that have logged in. Although I love y'all, but next week, Sunday at 8,
Be there
be
on
there.
Let
time.
me check my flight information,
Oh
Oh,
Lord,
because I didn't tell them no times. I said, give me the cheapest flight.
you're terrible.
Shoot, it's holiday time. I ain't trying to be.
yeah.
We already know.
Why the old flight still here?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh wait, there you go, there you go.
We'll talk about this off camera.
That part.
Thank you
I
everyone.
will be there.
Thank you everyone for that's tuning in.
Yes,
Yes,
we are going
we
to
will be at
Bartow.
Bartow. We won't be coming as cheer chatter, but we will definitely be there as fans of the sport. So
They'll be there. They, not we, they.
You'll be there virtually. Quit doing it. Because I'll
So
be
I ain't
there
been
Heather,
there
if
virtually.
you're
virtually yet. I ain't been there virtually yet.
Heather, if you are
You
going to
got a
be in
point.
Bartow, please make sure you find us or we find you, so that way we can connect and we can definitely have a conversation, because we would love to meet you.
Absolutely.
Everyone else, thank you so very much for listening, tuning in, being live with us. Everyone else,
Spread
if
the
you
word. We're
spread
now
the
on
word,
YouTube.
let everyone know that we will be going live on YouTube and YouTube only. We will not be going on any other social media pages at this time. Only YouTube, so we can get our subscriptions and our followers up. So share, share, share. Let everyone know that. Subscribe. Okay. Absolutely. And I cannot wait to meet you, Heather. Cheerfully yours. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day.
Hey, gobble gobble.
Happy Black Friday.
Happy Black Friday. Happy Family Day. Happy Friendsgiving. Happy just having these days off. Happy.
I will end on this note. I am thankful for you, lady.
Yes. And we love you.
I love y'all. And I'm here and I ain't with y'all.
It's okay. But you with us. Shout out to Sade. We miss and love you.
That part.
Yes, we do.
Hopefully you listening or you watching. But we miss and love you. So hopefully we'll be able to get you on the show, back on the show, ma'am. So we can have the crew back together. Until next time, cheer chatterers. Peace.
Bye.